Hi everyone, welcome to the Fire Mountain Gems and Beads Jewelry Making Studio. Today I'm going to teach another really cool seed bead stitch. This is called an African Helix. Really pretty stitch. It's very loose and flexible. In fact, this is so flexible that this artist chose to fill their helix with some pearls to give it a little more form and substance. So it's something nice. You can put something inside the tube and make it more round, or you can just leave it to be just relaxed and flat. But I want to show you how to do this stitch. Now here's a small version of it. But we're not going to teach you how to do the whole project. We're just going to teach you how to do the stitch. Then you can go off with your own creativity and do what you want with it. I found this a little hard to follow, so I'm going to do the same thing, but a little bit bigger. Okay, so to get started, I've got my needle and thread, which my favorite is the tulip needles, any number of sizes, and black fire line for this one. Mostly I'm using the black so you can see it. And the beads I'm going to use are a size 8 Toho. These are sort of a rounded bead. Same as on this little one, same colors and everything, but I'm just using a bigger bead so you can see it better. To start the stitch, we're going to pick up 3 of the pearls, 1, 2, 3, and a bronze. And do it again. 1, 2, 3, and a bronze. And one more time, 1, 2, 3, and a bronze. So that's how we get started. And I'm going to pull that down. And I have issues with my beads falling off the end, so I am going to put a little bead stopper here. Make sure my beads don't go off the end. Now I'm going to pass through these beads again in the same direction to form a circle. There's my circle. And I can take my bead stopper off now. And I'm going to tie a simple knot to maintain that circle. And then I'm going to double that up and make a surgeon's knot. Surgeon's knot's super easy. It's just the exact same kind of a knot, preferably a square knot. But then I'm going to loop this tail one more time. And that makes it much more difficult for it to come unknotted, hence the reason why surgeons use this knot. And then I'll pull that tight, and we're good to go. Now, like I said, this is a very flexible type of stitch, so I like to put this over something round to help it hold its round shape while I'm working. I'm using the end of a paintbrush. This is my round thing. I'm going to pass through this bronze bead one more time. So I've got my tail coming out this direction. Try not to get your tail tangled up in a bunch of stuff. And I've got my working thread coming out the other direction. And to this, I'm going to add 3 pearls and 2 bronzes. Now this is an unusual stitch in that it isn't stitched through the bead so much as it is around the thread. So this time I'm not going to go through a bead. I'm literally going to go over the top of this thread right here, the one between the bronze and the white. So you've got to kind of watch it pretty carefully as you're coming through to make sure your thread ends up where you want it. So the thread has to be between that bronze and the pearl right there. It's also important what direction you go, because what makes it all lay right and form sort of a ridge. So there we've got our first stitch. So we've made sort of a swag here, and it's gone over the thread here. And pull that good and tight. And add 3 more whites and 2 more bronzes. And we're going to go the same direction. We're going to go up over the top of this one right here, over the top of the thread. Not through the beads, just over the thread. kind of an unusual stitch in that respect. Yep, I don't want to make a knot either. There we go. And that thread needs to lay right here, right between the ivory and the bronze. And you might have to convince it to do that. I know other people can do this much more quickly than I can. There we go. And pull that nice and tight. So there's my swag. There's where my thread is crossed over. Again, 3 pearls, a bronze. We're going to go down over the top of this right here. Oops, sorry. I made a mistake. I need 2 bronzes. There we go. 3 whites and 2 bronzes. And down over the top of this. And watch that thread as it comes down so it goes right where you want it. There we go. That's where my thread went. And now it's time for our next row. Just a continuation. 3 more whites. 2 more bronze. And this time we're going to hit this spot right here on our first swag. So we're moving down the pattern, and it's got to go right there. Over the top. And make sure your thread lays right where you want it, between the pearl and the bronze. Like that. Ah, look at that. You can see the spiral already starting. So there we go. 3 whites, 2 bronze, down through here. Make sure the thread lays where you want it. Got some extra thread in the camera. Sorry about that. I'm trying to make it clear for you to see. There we go. And we're going to keep doing that. And you can see the spiral starting to form. Adding 3 whites and a bronze, 2 bronze.
So go ahead and finish this rows.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and
Down here.
Step out.
Mm-hmm. And always watching where that thread's going. It wants to be between the 2 bronzes, and I don't want it there. I want it over between the pearl and the bronze. Make that thread go where you want it. Ta-da! And as we keep going here, you can see how this spiral becomes this spiral. At first, it's going to feel like it's not working. Just keep working at it. It'll get there. And in fact, let me put this on my paintbrush so you can see it better. And this is a fairly large bead, so this is a very loose weave. When you're getting good at this, or you're feeling confident and comfortable, you'll want to do the smaller weave, and eventually, you're going to make some beautiful designs, just like this. So that's the technique. Go out, use your creativity, and let us know what you made. Thanks for joining us. Happy beading.